step and be with them, and even sometimes push them to finish by the deadline. And also, I provide them with a rubric. I don't know if you got it or not. It's actually a digital story rubric. And it's actually a long one, but I combined from various rubrics, like about writing, about oral presentations, about everything, and I put them together. So there should be actually a creativity part. There should be a point of view or a purpose in the story, and how also, and the storyboard itself, is it consistent or not? The content and the theme of the story, and also the voice pacing. You don't want someone to record a story while speaking very slow or very fast. And also the images. Are they creative in the use of the images? And the timing, because I tell them to have like a 15-minute story. So that's actually the timing for them. And the grammar, of course, the pronunciation and the intonation. So they should sound like they are acting, or they should feel what they are saying, not just say it. And also the videography. So when if they, for example, some of the students, like they recorded their own story, but others, they just got a camcorder and then they interviewed people on campus, for example, who know Arabic, and then they started having the story. So if they do that, I want actually the video to be clear and the sound to be clear. If they are going to shoot their own movie, which they are allowed to do, they need actually to be aware that the voice should be good and the picture as well. Also editing, because I asked them to edit their story with a tutor or with me before they start shooting the movie, or before they put the movie together. Also the documentation, if they mention the citations or not. And finally, everyone must record a certain amount of time. So I do not accept it when one student records 10 minutes and another just 3 minutes. So if they're working in groups, each one should record the same exact amount of time. The third tool is the blogs. And I think most of you know what the blog is. So can anyone tell us a definition? Anyone using it?
An electronic conversation.
Exactly. So it's actually a publishing tool. So whenever you want to publish anything, you can just create your own blog and then start publishing. Thanks to Lance, he helped us actually in the Arabic program, and we now have our own blog, which is in Arabic. So it's a web publishing tool that allows authors to quickly and easily self-publish text, artwork, and links to other blogs or websites. And can you see any benefits of that? So what's the difference between asking the student to hand a short essay, for example, and asking this student to post it on the blog?
The blog will be more interactive. People can share ideas together as if they talk to each other.
Exactly, and it's very motivating to the students, because when they know that they're not writing for the teacher. If they submit a paper, they write just for me. No, they're writing for everyone. They have audience now. They are authors, they're writers. And this is actually very motivating to the students. And as Denise mentioned, they can reply to each other's writing. So you can also ask them to correct each other's writing. Lance?
Not to cheat or anything, but it's public, and therefore it creates some anxiety. As we know, too much anxiety is bad, but we have an optimum amount of anxiety which keeps them on their toes and makes sure that they're paying attention to things like accuracy as well as content.
Exactly. Actually, I had one of the students that really hated the blogs. And when I asked her about the reason, she said, well, I read everyone's writing, and they all write very well. And I can see that mine is not that good. And this makes me feel bad. That's why I don't like posting my own writing. And this is a very good reason, actually. I mean, if I were her, I would have felt the same way. So, but if you look at this from another perspective, you can see that, well, you get her actually to know her level without you telling her. You get her to realize that she's missing something, which is a big point, actually. And also, by reading someone else writing, like not a teacher's writing, because they look up at you and they know that you know a lot. But when they read peers writing, you know, they kind of relate to it more. And I've seen actually a lot of interesting conversations between the students in the blog that was really amazing. So the benefits, so it's a simple, accessible tool. Anyone can contact Lance. And he will set the blog for him. Yes. Also, it's a class management tool, so you can actually post the homework, any assignments, any articles, anything you want the students to discuss. And also you can have discussions, as we said, and you can use it as a student's portfolio, because, like a digital portfolio, because you will have all the students writing. So you can easily tell the student, okay, this is your writing in the beginning and this is your writing at the end. So you can help them even assess themselves. Okay, considerations. So, for me, this also could be a little bit overwhelming for the students. Oh, how can we find the website? How can we log into our blogs? How can we post? So I actually send an email that has all the instructions, like really, like I mentioned every detail, like click on this on the right, do this next, you know, like 1, 2, 3, like baby steps, okay? And also I demonstrated in the class. And one of the problems that we have is that in Arabic we have different characters. So most of the students do not have Arabic keyboards, and I think that could be in Chinese and Japanese as well. So you need to consider that. You need to find students alternatives, otherwise you're asking them for something impossible. So in my case, for instance, I found a digital Arabic keyboard where the students keep clicking on the letters and then they can actually copy and paste from there. Also, it's very important to set clear expectations about regarding the tone and the respect and consequences. So I teach my students how to respond to each other. You don't tell someone, I didn't like your writing. I don't think you should write this way. Or mention like mistakes in like an offending way. So I teach them how to respond to each other, that they should start by praising someone's writing and then they can say, oh, I think you should modify this or do that. Some of the drawbacks that I found was typing is very time consuming to the students because actually they don't have the Arabic keyboard and they keep clicking each letter. So many students actually complain about that, especially the students in the advanced class, because I would ask them like to write an essay, which could take really a lot of time. Also, mixing Arabic and English characters could be a big problem in the blogs, because either you set the blog to post in Arabic or you set it to post in English. But then when you try to mix both, things kind of get messed up. So this is one of the problems that I encountered. Okay, so for the model, for YouTube actually, this is how I use YouTube. So in this class, the name of the class was Advanced Composition and Conversation, and I asked the students actually were doing intensive reading. So every week they would have to read about a different topic. And for each topic, for 2 days actually, we cover readings from textbooks. But then for the third year, I teach them an authentic material. This could be from a magazine, a newspaper, one article, and mostly actually I was using YouTube. So this is how I incorporated it in my class. For the blog, the students' rule for the blog was that every week they have to post a short story in the blog and post a comment of a peer's essay. So not just they post, but they need to go back and read someone's essay and then respond to that person. At this point, actually, they do not correct any mistakes. They just have an online conversation about that topic. So my role actually in the blog was that I respond to the students' writing. So I am engaged in the conversation.
The first ones we got.
So I'm engaged actually in the conversation. So I don't leave the students have conversations online. No, I actually jump in and then I ask them questions and encourage them to have more interesting conversations. And also I evaluate, for this class, I evaluated the students' writing based on a writing rubric that I also combined various kinds of writing rubrics into that one, which would fit this particular task. So I actually evaluate them every 3 or 4 postings. And the reason why I didn't want to evaluate them after each one is that I wanted actually to encourage fluency. So I thought if I just